Now here's the new CPU. I did an unboxing on this in one of my previous videos, and we're just going to use the CPU itself. We're not going to use the CPU cooler that came with it. So here it is, the new CPU. It's a Core i7 Sandy Bridge processor, and it's clocked at 3.4 gigahertz per core. And there's 4 cores, but it has 8 logical cores in there. So it's basically like an 8-core processor. Now, what we want to do, it's similar to the other motherboard I put in here where it has a cage here. You want to pull this back. It's a lever that keeps the cage down here. And then I'm going to push this back like this, and it pulls the cage up. Now this here is just a protective thing here. So I'm going to pull this off. There we go. Remove that. It exposes the contact point for the CPU. Now the CPU is going to fit in one way and one way only. Okay? So let's pull this out here. And always make sure you're grounded when you handle sensitive components like this. Now, what you might notice here is that on either side is a little notch. There's a little notch here, and there's a little notch here. Okay? And on the top are where the 2 notches are on the sides here. Okay? So with notches on the sides here, I'm going to place it in like this. Okay? Only fits in one way. There we go. And then we're going to place this back down. And then we're going to lock it into place, okay? So you just push this lever down just the same way that you pulled it out. There we go. CPU in, nice and snug in the cage, not going to come out. Very simple though. Very simple to do. Just make sure you're very careful when you do it. Now there's 5 more steps to this before we can button this up and get it going again. SSD drive, CPU cooler, GPU, graphics card. Then we have the USB 3.0 module that's going to go in here, and also the card reader. So I forgot about the USB module. I'm going to put it in there. So in order to set that up, we're going to pull the front bezel off of the machine here. Now on my PC build, I only have 5¼ inch external drive bays. So if I want to put something that's 3½ inch in, I can't do it unless I have one of these converters. Alright. It's pretty basic. Right here it's a bracket. It's 3.5 inches to 5¼ inches. Drive bay adapter with black bezel. Now I bought this from Tiger Direct. It comes pretty basic. I think it was about $6 or something like that. And I'll just open it up for you here so you can take a look. It's just very basic. It's made out of plastic. It's got a black bezel which will match my computer. But it comes with the actual converter here and then some screws so you can mount it, mount your drive in there, right there. So that's pretty much it for this. Why don't we install it now? Okay, now this is the front of the machine here. Up here is the DVD drive. Here is going to be a card reader right here, and then here is going to be the USB 3.0 module here. Both are going to need this converter here. So it's going to fit into there, and I have 2 of them. Okay? So what I'm going to do on this bezel, all I need to do is pull from here and pop it up, and it pulls it right off. Okay? Now as you can see here, there are the drive bays that I'm going to use, these 2 right here. Now before I do that, I'm going to want to pull these 2 pieces out of here. Now in order to do that, there's tabs here. So I'm going to pull the tabs to the side and push this out. Your case might be different, probably will be different, but that's how you do it with this case. There we go. Now I'm just going to put the bezel back on because I made my openings here, and they should be big enough to put my drive bays in. And just snap this down. And there we go, back in business. Now this should slide in here real easy. There we go, that's the way it's going to look. I'm going to have two of them. Now the first one we have here is the USB 3.0 module here. It's self-contained, it just has a cord that runs out to the motherboard, and that's going to be an easy plug-in there. And as you can see here, it'll fit real nice into this converter here. And then that will go in the second bay up here. And the bracket comes with a couple of screws, 4 screws. So what I'm going to do is grab my Noctua screwdriver here. And you just want to place this in as you're going to have it in there. Now there's a couple of ways to mount this. You can mount it from the side, which is the case in this, and you could mount it from the bottom, which is not the case with this module here. So we're going to put it into the sides here and put the screws in and screw it down so it's one piece. So I got it started in there and just start turning away at it here. And with everything, just tighten it so it's snug, not so that you're going to strip out any screw holes or break plastic or anything like that. Two down, two to go. One more to go. There we go. Nice and secure. And all we have to do is slide it in here and then mount it on the side. Okay, so we are going to feed this in through here. We'll plug that in later. And line this up here. Okay, so it's ready to go. I'm going to use some screws that came with the bracket here, and I'm just going to use those to screw this in here and mount it down. There we go. Got the left side done, and now let's just flip it around to get the other side done. Now remember, you're screwing into plastic here, at least in this case here, so you don't want to over tighten because you just strip out the screw hole here. Just want to mount it down real nice. And let's take a look at it. There we go. USB 3.0 module right there, so it'll be easy accessible from the front. Now we're going to put in the Sony Multi-Card Reader writer that originally I unboxed and originally planned to put into this computer back in October. But now it's finally coming to fruition. It's finally going in there. No more converters when I want to plug in an SD card into this. So here we go. Here's the card reader. It reads lots of different cards. I'm probably only going to use the SD card reader up here, but if I did have a compact flash or one of the others, I could do that. It also has a USB port right there. Not that I need it, but it's nice to have. And then back here is where it plugs in. So I'm just going to open this up back here, unleash the cord here, and I'm going to mount this the same way I mounted the other one. Just fit it in here. Plastic matches up real nice on this one. Fit it right in there, and then put the screws in on the side here, and then mount it in here. So let's do that right now. Alright, there we go. Nicely tightened down, looks good, and I'm ready to go. So this will feed in through here. and mount right in there. This is going to look really nice here. So let's put this down on the side and mount it in just like we did the other one. Alright, so let's just screw this down here. Okay, now we just have to mount it down on this end. So there we go. Both are installed. I've got my card reader in, and I have my USB 3.0 ports, in addition to the regular ports that I have on the front, which are eSATA and 2 USB ports, a mic, and a headphone jack here. Looks pretty good, I think. And I only have one bay left, and I have an idea what I want to use that for, but that is for another day. So, what we need to do is attach both of these to the motherboard. And that should be pretty easy. Now they make this really easy for the USB 3.0 connector. Right here is the connector. So all I have to do is plug it in and I'm ready to go. There we go. Simple as that. I just have to tuck this. Alright, now this from the card reader will plug in down here next to the other USB from the front of the case here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snake this cord through the back into the cable management system and then have it come up just through the bottom here and plug it in right there. Okay, so what I did is I took the cord, I snaked it around the back, and I brought it down up and around and right here, and we're going to plug it into this USB port right here. This USB port, I moved this was the front USB, and I moved it from there to here so this would fit easier here because there's a little more cord space on that one. So I'm just going to plug that in there and then we'll have it all hooked up and ready to go. It's very simple. All you have to do is just plug it in, and you just want to make sure you don't bend any of the pins, but as long as you have it in there right, there'll be no problem. Alright, so that was pretty easy. We got the USB 3.0 module put in, we have the card reader put in, and there's only 3 more things to do. SSD drive, graphics card, and CPU cooler. So we're almost there, almost there.